Welcome to Section E of Lesson 1-3. We're first going to start by talking about different types of angles, and you guys should already know all of this. It was covered on the math packet, but you also should know it from middle school, or even earlier than that, actually. So we have basically 5 kinds of angles. The first is an acute angle, and acute angles are angles that are smaller than 90 degrees, between 0 and 90 degrees, and they're small and sweet, right? And again, this is just a sketch, and I really wish I could draw a straight line on this. Our other kind of angle is a right angle, and right angles, boom, they're corners, right? Right angle, we always mark a right angle with a square in the corner. Remember, in geometry, we cannot assume it's a right angle unless if there is that lovely square in the corner. Obtuse angles are between 0 and 180, right? They're pretty big. And then straight angles are straight lines. Okay, a straight angle, if I put a point here, this is a straight angle. It measures 180 degrees. A reflex angle is an angle that measures between 180 and 360. The way to see a reflex angle, we've got the usual acute angle. Well, my reflex angle would be this angle here, between 180 and 360. A polygon is a closed figure whose sides are straight and has no gaps or overlaps. So things that would be a polygon, like, let's see, let's go with this. This guy here, ooh, that did not work. That would be a polygon, right? But things that would not be a polygon, circles are not polygons. Circles are not polygons. Anything that has a gap is not a polygon, or anything that has an overlap, not a polygon. We expect you in this course to be able to give the names for polygons with up to 12 sides. 3 sides is a triangle, 4 quadrilateral, not a square, guys, it's a quadrilateral. 5 is a pentagon, 6 hexagon, 7 is heptagon, that's when everybody misses. 8 is an octagon with an A, octagon. 9 is a nonagon. 10 is a decagon, like decade. Decagon. 11 is a hendecagon, and 12 is a dodecagon. Yes, we expect you to know all of these. All right, then we expect you also to be able to classify, okay, why did that float down everything else? I don't know. You should be able also to classify triangles according to their sides and according to their angles. Remember, those are 2 different categories. The first, let's look at sides, would be equilateral, where all my sides are congruent. Then isosceles, where we have 2 sides congruent. And then scalene, no sides are congruent. Looking at the angles, a triangle is equiangular when all angles are congruent. All the angles will end up measuring 60 degrees, and it's also considered an acute triangle because all of those angles are in fact acute angles. So coming down, an acute triangle has 3 angles that measure less than 90. A right triangle has 1 angle exactly 90, and an obtuse triangle has 1 angle that measures more than 90. The last little section here deals with classifying quadrilaterals. So quadrilateral simply means some kind of 4-sided polygon. And there are 3 basic categories of quadrilateral. We have parallelograms, which have 2 pairs of parallel sides, trapezoids, which have 1 pair of parallel sides, and trapeziums that have no pairs of parallel sides. So what I'd like you to do is to go through and draw an example of each of those. I'm going to draw one. I want you guys to draw a second one, so you should have 2 examples for each. A parallelogram generally has this sort of shape going on, and we'd know that we'd have 2 pairs of parallel sides. We use little arrows to show sides to be parallel. They're my 2 pairs. A trapezoid has 1 pair of parallel sides. So I'm going to make a right trapezoid just because you guys always see the isosceles version, and I'd love to show you the other one. 1 pair of parallel sides. And a trapezium is just a funky looking shape in general. It has no parallel sides. So I'm going to draw that. No parallel sides. Now each of these then have further subcategories. Looking at the parallelograms, we have 3 special kinds of parallelograms. So all of these are parallelograms, they're just special. A rectangle is a parallelogram with 4 congruent angles. And because these are quadrilaterals, which would have a total of 360 degrees, each angle happens to be a right angle. A rhombus is a parallelogram with 4 congruent sides. Rhombus, do not say the word diamond ever in a geometry classroom. A diamond is a pretty rock that girls wear on their hands or in their ears. Rhombi are not diamonds. Rhombus is the correct geometric term. So don't get those confused, folks. And then finally, a square is really cool because it is both a parallelogram, or yes, it is a parallelogram, a rectangle, and a rhombus. So it has 2 pairs of congruent, 2 pairs of parallel sides, 4 congruent sides, and 4 congruent angles. Squares are awesome. Now let's look at our trapezoid. We have 1 special kind of trapezoid, and that's the isosceles trapezoid. That's the trapezoid you see in your head, right? It looks vaguely like this, where we've got our, I'm so sorry guys, these are awful. 1 pair of parallel sides here, and then the other pair, the non-parallel sides, happen to be congruent. So these guys would be congruent. And then under trapezium, we have 1 special kind of trapezium, and that's a kite. And kites are cool because you get 2 pairs of consecutive congruent sides. So consecutive means in a row. So if I have 2 pairs of consecutive congruent sides, those 2 sides would be congruent. They're next to each other. They're consecutive. And these 2 sides would be congruent. So those are my types of quadrilaterals. If you don't know any of these, I suggest you come and you talk to me about them because you need to be able to identify these on the spot all the time. Anyway, thank you guys so much, and keep taking the quizzes. Stay tuned for section F if you need it. Thank you.